Hello everyone, my name is FlareBlitzed and welcome back to Vampire's Melody. Hope you are having an absolutely wonderful day. The next morning I wake to the sounds of rustling from my blanket due to all the tossing and turning in bed. When I was young I had this dream where if I had money I would buy a large parcel of land, build an enclosure around it, grow vegetables and rear all kinds of livestock to grab anything I'd like from my estate whenever I needed to eat something so that I wouldn't need to go hungry again. What a lovely dream. There's a letter here. Dear Raylan, you can open your restaurant. It is time for me to go and look for my companion. I lied to you about the so-called agreement. I only tricked you into staying with me to learn about this world. Now I have understood it. You are free. Yella. The wording in that farewell letter is very simple and I can understand all of it. What? You just left us like that? Aww. This doesn't feel right. That girl wouldn't know anything besides using her fists to send people flying. She lacked common sense and didn't book 2 separate hotel rooms because she feared being alone. That pitiful amount of money she took for a careless person like her would not last her for a month, let alone travel the world to search for her companion. Even if she wants to know her fellow kin, why couldn't she tell me and ask me to help her search for that person? Must she leave without saying a word? I don't think she hated you, man. No, Yellow would often blush all over my words, but she wasn't the type of girl where a couple of remarks would affect her feelings that easily. What the hell is going on? I'm getting more confused. Each and every day and minute that transpires by. Where would you think she would go? To the very place that you first met her, I would assume. I look out the window. That bright sun from earlier has now been obscured by a few grey clouds. Looks like it's going to rain. Glad you think of the same thing as I am, man. That hole in the tree must be it. Perhaps it's that hole in the tree. We met inside that tree, and I had slept inside for 300 years before coming to this era. Our first obstacle. Hey, this is a logging camp. No admittance to unauthorized personnel. I'm not an unauthorized person. I'm here to look for someone. Who are you looking for? John. That's a name I can remember off the top of my head. John? Why are you looking for him? His family is expecting a child soon and they asked me to notify him on their behalf. I coin a lie, try my best to sound believable. I see, that's quite serious. Wait here, I'll tell him immediately. The man goes towards a group of people with chainsaws in the distance. I take advantage of this opportunity to slip inside the logging camp and search around for that large tree with the big hole. Yeah, they're going to eventually notice that you're no longer there, and that the gate is open. Spot a white figure who looks different from the well-built lumberjacks who passed me earlier. That person is small-sized and alone. I become overjoyed and run there. She's sitting on a tree stump while holding a black umbrella and thinking about something. Then she's stunned like a well-made doll upon seeing me appear suddenly while gasping for breath. Yella! Raylan? Yella's eyes are wide open in shock as she looks at me. Well, great, I finally found you. I didn't expect you to run away and abandon me. Am I that sort of person who would betray anyone at the sight of money? It's such a relief that I have found her. I don't feel so anxious anymore. Idiot! She's looking at me with a mixed expression. Her tone sounds angry and comforted at the same time. Where is this going? I doubt she's going to sway that easily. Fool! I don't need you anymore. Go away. But I need you. This world has too many cold and unfeeling machines, and it feels so lonely for me. I can only sense that warmth when you are on my side. I have such a weak heart, it is pathetic. The minute I can't see you, my heart will race, leaving me in a fluster. No matter where you intend to go, don't leave me all by myself, please. Don't leave me to my fate with those ruffians. She seems amused, and her two nerves relax momentarily. You don't fear vampires, yet you're afraid of thugs? Not kind vampires. No, you don't, Yella. It didn't happen. Shut up, let me finish. Yella stares directly at my eyes, and I nod to indicate that I won't interrupt her. I have been a vampire for many years. I can't remember the exact length of time, but some parts are still etched in my memory. Ah, that could have been related to the previous conversation about, like, searching for someone and all that. This may have had a backlash for Yella. I remember when I just became a vampire, I had to survive on blood from corpses that were piled up at one corner of the city walls while their blood hadn't dried up yet, until I met my mother, who was the wife of an officer in the city garrison. That day she came to search for her dead husband's body, and saw me. She adopted me because she thought I was a war orphan, and gave me the name of Yellow Lester. I had my own name, and a new mother. I wasn't alone anymore. I was overjoyed. But I have always been a vampire. I couldn't eat the food humans take at all. And my mother found out in no time, but she didn't blame me. Instead, she would go out and buy chicken and duck's blood to feed me every day. At that time, the city was besieged by our enemies. Things became more scarce, and my mother would find it hard to procure blood for me when she couldn't obtain any. She allowed— oh gosh, no. I resisted the idea at first, but my instincts took over any rational thoughts, and I eventually— oh gosh, little by little she became weaker. Later, the city walls were breached at night. A large group of enemies charged inside and cut down anyone they could see. My mother brought me along with her to escape the city with remnants of the army and refugees, but she was sick and couldn't run quickly enough. We got separated from the rest of the group. The enemy caught up with us, and she turned around to impede them. She used her own body to buy time for me to escape. Ouch. It's still raining, and small puddles that produce tiny ripples have already formed on the ground. Yella's lips are shuddering as if her next set of words are filled with despair. I still remember how she looked when she smiled and pushed me aside to this day. She told me this: "Don't worry, Mother will protect you. Yella, you had a wonderful mother. Indeed, it wasn't your fault. The gears of war would always shatter every normal person's ordinary life without any mercy. It's my fault if she didn't encounter a monster like me, if I didn't suck so much blood from her. But that's because she loved you." That's exactly it, Raylan. She loved you. I know, but I felt bitter about it and wanted to throttle myself to death, but I lacked the courage. I was too evil and only wanted to survive. Isn't that what everyone wants to do at the end of the day, to survive another day? I know it sounds dumb, but couldn't everyone just contribute in their own ways to have such a small amount of blood so that it wouldn't actually weaken each individual person that contributed, because she would have enough then to survive. With the passage of time, she has experienced how many separations? Right now she is so used to being alone, she should be longing for a companion as much. No. The more I understand this strong and fragile vampire, the more I want to be with her. The minute this idea pops in my head, it feels as if a street lamp is spinning around like a fireball, igniting every part of my body, and giving me a new purpose to my empty life in this world. I won't die for you, but I still want to fulfill your dreams, and mine with you. We'll go together if you want to leave. You still don't understand. Why are you so stupid? You will encounter forces 100 times more powerful than the police and criminals if you go with me. Any accidents can easily cost you your life, and I may even suck all of your blood if I become hungry again. Don't follow me if you want to live. I promise. I certainly won't die that easily. Such a promise by you has no weight at all. Keep going, Raylan. Are you worried about the curse? Yella's eyes pop wide open. After some hesitation, she mutters something and stops halfway before looking at the thick rain clouds on the sky above. Right. Looks like I've guessed correctly. Can you tell me? The curse originated from a conflict between heaven and vampires. It comes at certain intervals. Whenever it occurs, the sky will send extremely powerful streaks of lightning at vampires, which they call the lightning from the heavens, and they will be killed if they can't find a way to hide from it. 300 years ago, I hid inside that tree in order to avoid it. The lightning would have a very long time interval between each occurrence. For this reason, the more experienced vampires would also spend a lot of time to prepare for it. But I woke up too late this time. Heaven may even deliver that lightning in the next few days. The lightning is very powerful. I'm not even sure if I can avoid it this time. So you can't stay with me. Otherwise you might lose your life too. I see. Yes, if you want to flee and leave me behind, I will still look for you the same way as this time. Even if you run to the ends of the earth, I will surely find you. Don't think you can run away. Really? You are like a sticky plaster but won't drop off. Whatever. But I will leave you at the first opportunity if anything happens. Don't forget I am a vampire. Although she's saying it this way, her lips have curled upwards. You don't have to leave me either. Don't be too full of yourself. She's always so hard on the outside and soft on the inside. Since the lightning will strike from the sky, the key thing here is to hide from it. We just need to find a similar hole in a tree, take shelter inside and everything will be fine, am I right? At most, we'll just sleep for another 300 years. Oh god, no. Well, think about it. We found you on the 26th, 300 years ago. It happened on the June 26th last time. The light doesn't come at a specific time, we only have a rough estimate of when it will occur. It can strike at any moment over the next few days. It happened at night time, didn't it? When the sun was down. That means it can happen any time? I look up at the cloudy sky above. The continuous drizzling seems to have stopped. Correct, it may even arrive any second now. Are you joking? What's the matter? You're scared, but the lightning will display early warning signs by having a period of continuous rain beforehand. Oh, just like the weather from last time. I remember the events at that time. 3 centuries ago, it was raining heavily with thunderstorms, and the Yarlins were in hot pursuit when we got attacked by a monster, and I had to flee for my life. The rain has more or less stopped. That means the lightning won't arrive for a while now. Shall we find another place to hide since the tree is gone? Regardless of the intensity, it can't possibly fell a high-rise building. Don't you think so? We hid inside that large tree for 3 centuries, and it didn't get struck to pieces back then. I'm a little uncertain despite my statement, but I should at least give Yella some confidence. Let's go, Missy. You have me. This time, I will listen to you. Yella hesitates for a while, but she extends her hands to allow me to pull her up. Yella stares at a manhole cover for a long time. Eventually, she reaches a decision. Let's try it then. Okay, in that case, we need to prepare some supplies. Yes, to be able to survive. It is dark and damp below. We don't even know exactly when the lightning will strike, so we need to make provisions for our stay there, which might be quite a while. I'm okay. Although I spent a lot of my energy to fly earlier, I can take some hardship if it's just a few days. Then we'll still need to bring some mats with us since we can't simply sit on the hard surface. We also need some candles that can shine brightly. You really think of everything? Yes, a meticulous thinker. But we are doing this. I'll hide in the sewers by myself to avoid the lightning. Just wait here for me. I'll definitely come back to look for you, okay? I thought we agreed on this earlier. Why are you having second thoughts again? Am I that unreliable to you? I understand your good intentions, but this will be better, don't you think? You don't really need to. Yeah, Ella. Listen up. I want to see you survive this lightning from the heavens with my own eyes. And I will not back down. Ever since we came to this world, we have faced our difficulties together time and again. Isn't that so? It's the same this time around. Let's not go separate ways again, alright? Fine. She doesn't like the idea, but she's plodding along. Not happening, it is too risky, far too risky. You only care about these? It's just for 2 days, what's so bad about being prepared? It's 2 days! An entire 2 days! You're asking me to stay in that stinking sewer for 2 days, and you won't even rob me of my most wonderful final night here. Her mood suddenly changed dramatically, and she's roaring about on the bed while complaining and gnashing her teeth. As if I was a demanding boss. I mean, she's not wrong. At night, we made our way into the sewers via a spot that was close to the tallest building in the entire city. Shortly after we entered the underground tunnels, it began to rain heavily, and the water level kept rising, so we hurried further inside. That is a bit alarming. The rainwater is flowing with the influent into the smelly canals beside the walkway, producing a stench wafting upwards. I even spotted a few rats scurrying past me under the light provided by my candle. Although I have mentally prepared myself earlier, I have to say this place is even worse when it is raining. We'll have to stay here for some time. Enough! I'm going to lose my sense of smell. I have bathed for nothing. How I miss my dear little bathtub. Oh, yalla. An orphanage run by a religious group took me in before I met Mr. Cook, though. The staff admitted me, but in fact only a few cared if the orphans would live or die. We could only rely on ourselves most of the time. I had to work for everything when I could understand things, and shoveled down most of the time. The smell was comparable to this place. We also took turns to prepare meals at the time. I would often wipe my dirty hands on a wall and cook for everyone after moving all that manure. Did you acquire your taste buds from a vampire? You could still eat despite such nauseating conditions. Back then, it was considered good if we had anything to eat. I would simply swallow anything edible whenever I felt hungry, and wouldn't have time to taste them all at all. That's true. I can suck all the blood from a smelly rat in one go if I'm famished. Your eating habits are more disgusting than mine. I have lived for a long time, and wouldn't have experienced a lot of unpleasant things. Would have, don't you think so? Lived for a long time. Speaking of which, you would always hear about my past. How about yours? Can you share it with me? My past? Is this going to be uncomfortable for her? Yes, and a few things last night when you flew me home, but there are other things, isn't there? Many of my kind were struck dead by that lightning before they could develop, but I managed to avoid it many times thanks to the guidance from that vampire veteran. Hence I became more powerful. I also became more greedy and hankered for wealth in addition to blood. I began to set my sights on those nobles who were obsessed with money. I made use of my appearance and abilities to steal a lot of things from them. Eventually, many countries' nobles in the old continent placed bounties to capture me, and even hired a lot of vampire hunters. Therefore, no choice, I stole a king's crown and sceptre, fled to the new continent, and traded all my stuff for a mansion. You know that place? We went there earlier. After that, I returned to my old ways, suck people's blood, rob others, fill the vault in that mansion with treasure, and prepare a place to evade the lightning from the heavens at that time. Speaking of which, a bunch of extremely noisy people with guns had even run to a place near my hole in the tree while I was hiding from the lightning back then. They were dressed in very neat uniforms, and I thought the government had sent their army to surround me. Wait a minute, extremely noisy people with guns, dressed in very neat uniforms. Is she referring to the Yarlings? What did you do to them? Of course I dealt with them. I was taking a risk by going out when the lightning could strike me any time. But they would find my hiding place sooner or later if I allowed them to comb the area. This is a coincidence. A real coincidence. What's wrong with you? Why are you yelling so much? You saved me, but you didn't know at that time. Well, we were talking about Raylan's pursuers in the past. They actually dared to lay a finger on my servant? If I'd known earlier, I would have cut them to pieces. Yet exclaims while gnawing her teeth. Not really. I had nothing to do with you at that time. Nothing to do with me? God works in mysterious ways, and he has decided on our relationship a long time ago. Yeah, goodness sakes. Oh no, I was worried I'd wet myself. Then I realised the water level in the drains had risen until it overflowed and spread to the floor we were sitting on. Damn! The rain outside is heavier than I thought, and the water level down here is rising rapidly. The sewage from the canals was rushing across the floor only a second ago. Now it is reaching up our shoes. Yetta, wake up quick! Yetta didn't wake up despite my shouts and the rushing rainwater. Looks like she's currently in a deep slumber and is really vulnerable. This won't do. If we stay here, we will certainly drown in that dirty water. I quickly carry her on my back. She's still as light as before. This was like that other time when we found her asleep. Beneath the tree. Same pose as well. I step back after setting her down, intending to massage myself briefly and relieve that acute pain on my body. Squeak! I seem to have stepped on something soft. A small black animal cries, scurries away from my feet and jumps off the catwalk. I got a fright, but I realise the animal is just a dirty rat when I take a closer look. Oh, lightning struck. A deafening sound booms out, and a blinding flash of light pierces through the holes in the manhole covers around us, briefly illuminating the entire underground tunnels. Everything around me turns white. When I regain my vision, I notice that rat wandering beside the water below is lying in a strange position on the stone steps. Its four limbs are still, and black smoke is emanating from its body. It was struck. It's that lightning just now. It travelled inside through the doge and struck this rat dead. Goosebumps appear on my skin and my head hurts. Yella! I quickly turn round in alarm. Yella's still sleeping peacefully. She doesn't seem to have changed much. I heave a sigh of relief. We would certainly be struck dead from below if I had arrived here any later. Yet comforting thoughts do arise after a traumatic experience. Sorry, little rat. Your shoulder is too hard and my head also hurts. I should cut it open and soak it in vinegar to soften it. No! Don't say such frightening things. Why did you take off your trousers? Because I wasn't wearing a skirt. I didn't know you have such a fetish. I'll help you choose one when we get out of here. That's not what I meant. I quickly retrieve my pants and put it on. After he fell asleep last night, I realised that place was getting flooded, and I shifted to this area afterwards. My shoes and trousers were wet by the time we settled here, so I had no choice but to take them off to dry. There was a thunderstorm last night where you were asleep, and lightning even struck inside. I saw a rat got hit and died from it right in front of me. The lightning struck inside? Yes, it entered through the water, and it was really powerful. The lightning from the heavens is really frightening. It would have found an opportunity to hit us if we weren't clever enough, indeed. But I haven't heard anything for a while, and the rain should have stopped by now, judging from the water level. Has the lightning passed? I don't know. The lightning can sometimes turn around and hit back. Wait here. Where are you going? I'm going to take a look outside. I run towards the light, reach a set of rungs leading to the surface and deftly climb up to open the manhole cover. And we completed chapter 5. I think that's a very good confirmation that the thunderstorm has gone. It's beaming with light. Isn't this the place where you lied to me the other time? When did I lie to you about the curse, about the proximity thing? Is she playing dumb? Luckily I have a special habit and won't throw away things without good reason. I retrieve a letter from my pocket. Dear Raylan, you... Yellow rushes over to snatch my letter when she realises what is happening. Ah, but she fails some time. It seems she hasn't recovered from her weakened state. This is my chance. Don't be so hasty. Let me find it. I lied to you about the so-called agreement. I only tricked you into staying with me. You... Give me that letter! Yellow's so furious she's stomping away. You want me to stay with you so much, Lady Yellow. You definitely ran away and leave me behind if I didn't scare you that way. That's true. Back then I couldn't think straight. Even thought Yellow was up to no good at one time. Although this was mostly so. We might not have such a story after that if she didn't lie to me. Come to think of it, that was such a twist of fate. You are so devious. Why, of course. If I had run off at that time, would you look for another person to trick and stop appearing in front of me again? It's rare to see you being smart for once. What do you mean by that? I'm very smart. Wow. Like, you didn't have to go into that excessive detail when she was unconscious, okay? Just nah. Cross your heart. No, can't you see I didn't do that? I thought you would have felt something. The amusement park. This place is full of jovial banter mixed with the occasional screams of delight from the crowd, just like my first time here. Mr. Cook's statue is standing silently at one side, and even has a few banquets of flowers at the base. Looks like the people in this age haven't forgotten about him. Give me a minute. Where are you going? It hasn't been long since I last came here, yet it feels as if 300 years have passed. I'd like 2 banquets. I go over to buy 2 banquets of flowers and a pushcart, and give Yella a red banquet. What are you doing? Don't girls like people giving them flowers? I don't really need it. Your blush is telling me otherwise. Let's ride on that thing moving around in circles. The warm breeze is blowing across our hair in quick succession. The waves are calm and allow our boat to drift along gently. The ripples on the water surface are moving quietly. This is my favourite part at the moment. Slosh. The noise from that crowd is entirely gone. The boat swaying from side to side. The birds chirping away and the sloshing sound of water feels so relaxing. Oh, it feels nice. Not bad. It's rare of you to find a non-exciting ride acceptable. Is that because you puked until you were 8 old, and I took that into consideration? Thank you for your concern, Missy. The sunset is shining on the lake's surface like a beautiful candle, and we are rowing a boat on the light blue lake that resembles a crescent moon in the sky. It's hard to imagine that we were even bed-raggled last night in the sewers. What's happening in front of us feels like a dream. Indeed it is. The first time I was alone in this entirely messy world after we separated, I felt extremely upset, thinking that I shouldn't have allowed you to go so easily. You had my scent, so I made use of that to track you. I wanted you to become really unlucky. But I saw you talking to that group of thugs without being on your guard like an idiot, and you got bound securely by them. So I had a sudden change of heart. I thought to myself, since you were the only one who came from the past with me, you would certainly understand me better than other people, and you were so stupid until you looked so adorable. Instead of allowing others to deceive you, why not allow me to fool you? She gives a little chuckle and raises her head to look at the distance. Anyway, I just need to make up any simple lie where you would fall for it, and I had someone at my side I could talk to. You really are afraid to be alone. Yes, and I wonder who is that person who ran to look for me, screamed that he is lonely, and insisted on following me. I laugh as I ignore her teasing, and say how I feel. In the beginning, I thought the same way as you. It must be your handiwork that I got brought into this strange world for no reason. I was grateful at first when you rescued me from those ruffians, but you said you were a vampire after that. I thought it was too absurd and I doubted you. But I had no choice at that time, so I believed you. In fact, I kept worrying if you would suck all of my blood back then. But after getting along with you for some time, I realized you were a girl who wouldn't mince your words, yet you were very kind at heart. So I thought it would be better to survive in this world with you than to live alone. Hence, I gradually grew to become inseparable from you. I recall the changes in my frame of mind, and the things in my heart are expanding. Yella? I grab Yella's hand resting at the side of her seat. It feels soft and delicate, and her skin is imparting a cooling sensation, yet I'm feeling hotter inside. Can we remain inseparable like this forever? I swallow my saliva and continue. Yella, I look at her in the eyes, but my mouth is dry, and some words are stuck in my throat, such as that I can't express my feelings. Oh my. Yella abruptly moves her face close to me. Her breath comes to linger around my face in that instant, and her soft moist lips touches my cheeks briefly like a dragonfly skimming on water. That is a surprise. The The party church is heating up rapidly. I'm stunned as if I'd been immobilized by a paralysis spell. My heart is thumping vigorously like a drum being played very loudly at a celebration. By the time I refocus on Yella after returning to myself, she's already looking away while blushing. Am I mistaken? Just now. Yella suddenly pinches my hand holding hers very hard. Ow! Your skin is thicker than a city wall, so you can't feel anything at all? I felt it, so you have agreed? She answers softly. The surface of the lake has a red hue from the sunset, matching the colour of her cheeks. For a moment, I'm stunned by this elating development. It feels as if I am shooting upwards from the base of the valley into the clouds of that roller coaster ride earlier. Ah, you finally said those 3 words. And what's she going to think? Is she going to feel the same? Or is she going to deject us like the other times? Don't simply use your mouth, stupid. Use your arms, your body. From now on, I will definitely accompany you wherever you go. Since you need me so much, I will give you this special privilege, albeit reluctantly. Oh, may I have another special privilege? What do you want? Don't push your luck, ordinary human. I'm not ordinary, okay? I'm a vampire's companion. It's true that I still want something. That kiss from just now felt like a dragonfly skimming on water after all. Well, I can't get enough of it. Because we are bold. Okay folks, we're going to continue with the development of this game in the next time. So thank you all so much for watching, and see you all in the next time of Vampire's Melody. Thank you all so much for watching, and take care of yourselves.